me just put this over here. And let's see. I have used this since last year. There we go. We have 5 people in the chat. Let me just move this around a little bit and see what we got. I think that's going to be fine. Okay. So let me turn on my PC. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and enjoyed time with your family. I know I certainly did. And I have a couple good things I want to tell you guys about. Okay. Let me just turn on my monitor over here. YouTube Studio. And I'm going to go live so I can see what's happening in real time in the chat. Okay. Okay, here we go. We have Robin Smith in the house. Grandmama Grows, and I call her Grandma, but I mean G-Mama Grows. Yankee sister, and she's so sweet. Grandmama Grows never corrects me. It's G-Mama. And I should know that because my sister's grandchildren call her G-Ma because her name is Georgette. And Yankee sister is in the house. Let me move my little plant out the way. Little Blessings Urban Love. Oh, that's Miss Debbie. Mwah, mwah. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Chime Moss is in the house. Miss Quinny's Playroom. Gardening and Holistic Fun. How you doing? Joyce L. Moore, Tracy Jones. Miss Cherie is in the house. I'm at home with Cherie, and I'm blowing kisses to everyone. Let's see. Lucretia Gardner is in the house. And that's it for right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to move some of these boxes out the way. I'm doing a lot of packing up. And I am happy to report that I got all of my orders out except for the ones that came just before the holiday. And they will go out tomorrow morning. And I didn't get my Golden Girls Comfrey out yet. It was just too difficult. I'm trying to turn this little light on right here. I just love this. Stinky Butter Ranch gave me this. Did I hit that light out again? Be careful. Grow Your Own with Lady Cheryl. And Byron Holmes is in the house. Ola Joe, Crocheting Sailor. I ran across 2 pictures in my Facebook timeline of the hats that I used to crochet. I still can crochet. I just don't have a lot of time to do it. And one of them was an Applejack hat like this. And my oldest granddaughter came to visit me and got all the ones that looked like this that were crocheted. And I sent them the pictures to Best Yet Journey, Lydia, because I know she's embarking on that journey of learning how to crochet. And I admire her. You all check out her channel. She does gardening and her daughter does some recipes. But I just enjoy anybody that tries to do multiple things because she likes to paint. I mean, she does a lot of nice things. She even did a painting of my favorite flower and my favorite bird. Um, I used to have it hanging around here on my what do you call it? My screens. I'm gonna figure out a way how I can still do that. Somebody is saying, Happy New Year, Lady Cheryl in chat. I am on vacation. Wonderful, and can't stay. No problem. Watching ads and popped into the show for us to show some love. We thank you, and we hope that you have a wonderful vacation. Thank you, Ola Joe. And yes, Applejack, you going way back. You know I'm talking about girl from the 70s. When I met and fell in love with my husband, he had a real big afro. And he used to wear, I said husband, I meant to say my late husband. And he used to wear the Applejack cock to the side and have his fro picked all out. And I run across those pictures and I just smile. And I still wear this hat. And by the way, my oldest client, retired school teacher, Beverly. You all seen her in my videos, me giving her stuff, and I told you out of my garden, and I told you how she's always finding something on sale and bringing it to me. I do her hair every single Saturday with the exception of a holiday. Or if she had a death in the family and she had to go out of town, then I would do it early. I've been doing that lady since 1992. Anyway, I brought up Miss Beverly because she is one of the most sweetest people that I know. Very classy, very humble, and she's hip. And she just aged gracefully and allowed me to take her hair from about a number. Well, I don't know about numbers. Some of you, if you're hairstylists in here, medium color brown to a salt and pepper brown to a beautiful burgundy red, not a real loud red, but just a subtle red highlights. And then finally one day I said, you know what? Your gray hair is coming in silver. And my brother, the one that's a minister, a reverend, a pastor, he was happened to be here that year for Thanksgiving, and he called her the Silver Fox. And she decided, I don't know if that influenced her or not. I hope would think I did. We decided together that she would go gray. And so we stopped putting the color on, and eventually I just kept cutting off the color part just a little at a time. And now it's so beautiful and it's silver. And I put like a little conditioner rinse on it. And in the sun, it looks a little lavender. I know that don't have nothing to do with gardening, but I went all the way around the world to tell you that anything in my garden that I grow, I share with Miss Beverly, and she's real nice to me. And this is what she gave me for Christmas. So she knows me very well. And I love my little Applejack hat. So anyway, yeah, that's from the 70s. Oh, a Yankee sister said, my late husband used to also. We have so much in common, Yankee sister. It's amazing. I just love you. I just love this gardening community because when my family is around and I start talking about the garden, they just start looking like this. And my oldest son, the COO, unofficially, he'll tell me in a heartbeat quick, Mom, I don't want to hear about the garden today. So we have all these like-minded loved ones in our gardening community that we can share stuff with, and I just love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you, Cherie. Now, I want to tell you all this. I've been debating how I was going to handle this, so I'm just going to do it the way the Holy Spirit has led me to do. To say, you all have been incredible to me during this giving season of Christmas. And some of you all have blessed me so much. And I emailed a couple of you to see if I had your permission to call your names out. Because sometimes when people give you something, they do it anonymously. And some people don't wait until Christmas. Because I've been blessed anonymously so much. So I'm just going to say this. You all know who you are. And you all know me. You know my heart by now. That when I say I love you and I'm grateful for everything that you sent me, you all know it's coming from a pure place of love and gratitude. So I'm not going to call anybody's names out. My moderator sent me cards, just a token of appreciation in a small gift, no matter how big it was or how small it was. I want you to know it touched my heart. You see, Christmas, woo, Christmas can be a very difficult time for people like me, Yankee sister, because she said her late husband. And I'm sure a lot of you in here have lost loved ones, and their memory comes vividly to us during the holiday season. And a lot of people get depressed. And a lot of people get real lonely. Now, I don't want to give you all the wrong idea. I am not lonely. Because I have a blessed life, a rich life. I'm not talking about monetary, financial. I mean, it's rich, full with blessings. Because I had planned to go on last Monday night and last Sunday, and my children put their foot down, especially that daughter of mine. And now you see why Bria acts the way she acts, because the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. And my daughter is doing to me the same thing I would do to my mother had she been alive. And they said, no, your subscribers, your YouTube viewers will understand we have traditions that our family does. And even though we have to do it from a distance because of the pandemic, you need to take some time off and spend it with your family. And that is what I did. Angel Loves Garden says she's listening while doing chores, and her mom told her about the lot of Applejack hats. Yes, honey. They came in all types of fabrics, and you can wear them dressed up or dressed down. Because my brother's wife, she's a pastor's wife, first lady, and she has a sequined one that is just out of sight, and I want that hat so bad. But anyway, I don't know where I wear it to, because I'm kind of conservative when it comes to church and stuff. But anyway, so yes, I'm just going to call off some things from on my list of things I'm most grateful for. Of course, it was cash donations. One young lady tried to buy me stuff off my wish list of worm castings, and Amazon told her they couldn't ship them to my area, so she cashed at me, and I had them shipped the next day. I guess they had them in the the center distribution centers close to me. Everything, a lot of things on my list, like Jiffy peat pellets. I bought that galvanized garden bed with cash money I received through my Cash App or my PayPal. Just looking over here because I have my station set up in my foyer. I got money to buy all my little cups, solo cups, potting mix. I said the galvanized bed. Man, when I get off of here, I'm going to forget. But I'm just telling you, I wanted these plastic bowls that I can use that were glass with covers so that when I start doing some of my canning videos, lady bought me that. I could go on and on and on. And like I said, some of those people didn't give me that on Christmas. They gave it to me before Christmas. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much so that this year I'm going to name my garden Garden of Gratitude. Oh, let me back up. 2 people bought me herb books because they know I'm taking that master's certification for herbalist. And that leads me to the announcement that I'm getting ready to make. As I was looking at my schedule and listening to my COO, my son and my daughter, And I have a baby son, but he's a businessman, so he's more like me, and he understands how we put too much on our plate. But I was looking at the schedule for taking that herb class, and they reminded me I need to make a schedule for myself. If I'm still going to do the classes on Sunday for the people that are in the eat your own, we want to learn how to pressure can and preserve food, and the people who want to make their own natural products or perhaps start their own line, those classes will resume the second week in January, and I'll have the list up by next Monday afternoon. Next Monday afternoon, I'll put the whole list on for the next 3 months, for the next 3 times 4, next quarter. But anyway, because I'm taking those classes, I've got to schedule some things and make sure that I don't overwork myself and get exhausted. So effective now, this will be my last live chat, Blessings from the Garden, on Sunday afternoon. When I get through with my 12 to 2 p.m. Central Time classes for my subscribers that are in my Perks Club, then at 3 o'clock, I will go into my herbalist class. So I'm taking that on Saturday evening and Sunday afternoon. So I won't be doing Blessings from the Garden, but I'm going to combine that on Monday night and have a special segment in my Monday night chat that I've been doing now for about 18 months, every Monday, except when I'm on vacation. And I will have the Blessings from the Garden segment in that Monday night chat every week. Okay? So I'm not really ending it. I'm just going to combine it. Because I have a lot on my plate. Because you all know I make all my own products and everything. And I just can't do it. Okay? Because literally, I was almost exhausted. So much so on Christmas that I couldn't even eat my food. I had to nibble off of it and ask my daughter to pack it to go because I couldn't eat. I was too tired to eat. Now, you know you're tired when you can't eat, and you can look at me and tell me I love to eat. So I enjoyed that the next day. So I'm going to see what's going on in here. Thank you, Growing with Hudson. Thank you, and I love what you sent me in the mail. Thank you so much. And I see, yes, Growing with Hudson said, we are all multitasking. So this year, I'm going to do the Garden of Gratitude. And I will share a segment every Monday night. And I won't be coming back on Sunday afternoon because I'm going to be in class. And another thing we have to remember is this year, I'll be 68. And if you don't believe me, you just wait till you get my age. You slow down a little bit. But in your mind, when you are an overachiever and someone who has a real strong work ethic and you've worked hard all your life, your mind will tell you you can do it, but your body has a way of shutting you down. Okay? So I got to take it a little bit slower and easy. Like I always say, work smart and not harder. Okay, so this is what I want to share with you about this Garden of Gratitude. Unless I tell you something different, I want you to know that everything I'm going to grow this spring and summer from seeds will be seeds that I collected or seeds that you all sent me. And I'm going to show you how grateful I am by naming it the Garden of Gratitude, because all of it is going to be free. Free compost that I make, free sun, wind, and rainwater that I get from the Lord above, and then the seeds that I collected, because I always say what? Saving seeds is like printing your own money. So yesterday on January 1st, 2022, isn't that wonderful? We still alive, y'all. We made it through. And the pandemic is hitting people closer and closer to me. okay? But I'm especially grateful because one of my hair clients had COVID. I did her hair when she had COVID. She didn't know. She thought she had a cold. But see, we never broke protocol. We always wear the mask. And even though the few people that I do all have been vaccinated and have received a booster, we never take our mask off. So I know I'm a living witness of God's goodness and mercy because I know I have a compromised immune system and he didn't allow me to get it. And so I thank him. I don't take nothing for granted. And I live in Texas where we have people running around here like it's not even a pandemic. But the few places that I go, I'm always masked and gloved up. Hand sanitizer in my purse, in my pocket, in my car. I don't play. Okay, so I hope you all stay well. Another thing I want to tell you is last night, it dropped all the way down to 19 degrees. But I was able to maintain the temperature in the greenhouse at 40 and 41, the two sensors that are out there. So that's pretty good. Now, right now, let me show you on my phone. Right now, let's get the weather app. It is 35 degrees. Can you see that? Yep, right over there. It's 35 degrees, partly sunny, and it's 82 and 83 in the greenhouse. Now, I could turn the heat off, but because it's going to be 25 by tomorrow morning, I'm going to let the heat stay on out there because there's not too much sun out. It's overcast. And pretty soon the temperature is going to be dropping. Let me tell you, by 7 o'clock, and that's just a few hours, it's going to be freezing, 32 degrees. So let that heat stay in there. And tonight, I think it's only going to get to 25, which is 6 degrees higher than last night. I'm going to try to up the ante and keep it not at 40, but at 50. So, when I finish this live, I'm going to take 2 of these out there with the candles and let the terracotta heat, emit from there and keep it a little bit warmer. And remember those glass vintage like lanterns I got? By the way, you all send me the money for that too. I crossed that off the list. And I said, okay, so this, and okay, that paid for that. Okay? So that was a blessing. I'm going to put 2 of those out there. And by the way, I made a mistake. Y'all know I'm getting old. I said, Melissa SoCal told me about some lanterns that were at Walmart, but it wasn't Melissa SoCal. It was Melissa Ladybug Palmer. So sometimes, and I know the difference in the 2 ladies, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I'll mix up names. But she told me about these. I don't know if I showed you all these before. So that if we get a power outage, because I have found 2 of these that are battery operated, but they look like real lamps. Can you see that? That glow. And this is just like it. And they were cheaper. Because I think these were $12.99 on Amazon. And Melissa Ladybug Palmer, who also, I was getting ready to say something else, but it's irrelevant. She told me about these, and these were 2 for, was it the Walmart or Amazon? I want to say $18 or $19. $18, I think. But it was cheaper than these 2, and they're identical. And they look like the real vintage oil lamps, the red ones that I showed you guys a few days ago. I'm going to put it back right here because maybe you can see darker in the corner. You can see that light. Yeah, you can see it. No, I'll put it down here up against this dark background here. And you can see it really, really illuminates very well in the dark. So if we get a power outage, I could put these all over the house because I have 4 of these that were lights, and then I have some of the oil lanterns. Okay? So now, getting back to the garden of gratitude, I started these seeds yesterday. And you can't see them real good because of my scribbly writing, but, and did I mention I got peat pellets? I think I did. I got 200 peat pellets. And I'll show you what they look like. And I don't put boiling water on them. And you don't get a lot of nets. But they're like a little disc that comes down here. And when you put water on them, they swell and expand. And if you didn't know, everything that a seed needs to grow into a substantial, strong seedling with 4 leaves, 2 sets of real, true leaves, because most plants, when the seeds germinate, the first set of leaves will fall off. Most of them. So they don't need any nutrition until they're up to a nice size. And I've seen some people grow them even larger than this. But the point I want to make is I started all of these peat pellets, and I'll lift it like this so you can see. There are 8 rows across and 4 peat pellets in each row. And what I did was I labeled them. All of these seeds were either given to me, or I collected, or they were very old. The reason why I said I added them into gratitude group is because, for example, I planted in row 3 a green custard apple seeds that I had in the freezer since 2017. And by the way, all of these seeds started on January 1st. In row 4, and apple custard is a treat. And in row 4, I planted seeds that I had in 2016, Chinese loquat. I'm going to see if I can grow that tree. I was not successful when I tried these before. And then in row 5, I planted 4 mimosa trees, seeds. And I have 2 beautiful mimosa trees in my backyard, in my food forest. So I got 4. If I can grow 2 more, I'll put 1 in the backyard, and then I'll send or sell the other 3 to some of you. But you have to be careful where you plant a mimosa tree because it has long tap roots that can become invasive. So you don't want to put it anywhere near a driveway, a foundation of your home, a shed, or a patio structure. So mine is way back on the outskirts of my food forest where it can't bother anything. But it's a beautiful tree, and the flowers are edible. I think I talked about that in one of my Monday Night Live chats. And then let's go over here. These 2 rows are California Wonder peppers that I have been saving. I didn't put the year down here. I know that's probably not right. 2011. I don't think that's right. So it was 2000 something. I'm going to eat more peppers this year. And you guys know that I have a lot of peppers, seedlings that I started. I did a little quick short video on it, and I mentioned it also in another video. And then over here I have Miss Debbie Epps blessed me with some heirloom organic seeds. It's one row is called a Super Sue tomatoes. And then Debbie Epps also gave me some beef steak tomato seeds. I have some of those, but I wanted to use the ones that somebody gave me because they were labeled expiring in 2021. So that was, a fresher seed. And then at home with Cherie gave me a white Thomasil tomato, and I planted it as well. And anywhere where I have like a division line, like a dash, that means only two of in that row I planted that seed, and where there's a dash I planted something else. For example, in this row where there was the super Sioux, Sioux, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's French. I also planted, where is it? Oh, San Marzano. That makes a good tomato paste pepper. And again, that comes from Miss Debbie. And I think her name in here now is something something Grows Farm. But you all know who I'm talking about when I say Debbie Epps. So yeah, all of these in here are either very old seeds that God blessed me to save in the freezer, or I collected them myself and froze them, or people sent me some seeds in the mail. And it's one more. It's one more. I gotta stop here and say this one. I forgot about this one right here. I only have two of them. It's a circle. There's a famous opera singer, Paul Robeson, black guy. A tomato was named after him. I tried to buy that seed twice on Baker Creek, and each time I tried to get them, they were out of stock. And then UT, he has a channel, and y'all go check him out. I don't know what the numbers are. I'll put a link after this video today. But his wife is named Angel, and the son is named, they call him Kiddo. And they have a lot of peppers and tomato plants that they grow in buckets. And they're just phenomenal. And he had the Paul Robeson tomato. It's a smoky, hearty beefsteak type of tomato that's burgundy in color. And I just wanted it because it was a beefsteak, and I thought it would be nice to grow the one that was named after this opera singer. But anyway, he sent me some seeds, and he sent me a lot of seeds that, what I like about it in his little note, he said that he didn't want any recognition. He didn't want any shout outs. They're not interested in having a real big channel. So you don't have to feel obligated to shout me out. And if you don't want to use these seeds, you can give them to somebody else. And I just love that. And so I will be sharing some of those seeds with you all. So again, I want to encourage you all to, even if you don't have your whole garden, if you just do a section of your garden with seeds that were free, whether they were real old, you saved them, you collected them yourselves, or somebody sent you some seeds, even if you just designate one garden bed or a couple containers, I would love for you all to hashtag Garden of Gratitude so we can share. And that way we can encourage other new gardeners or gardeners that don't have a lot of experience to know that if we can do it, you can too. Okay? The Garden of Gratitude. So if you're tuning in to this late and you didn't get my announcements, Blessings from the Garden, my weekly Sunday afternoon chat. This is the last one. I will include it in a segment on my Monday Night Live chats because I'm going to school. And whatever I do, I told you all, my mom instilled in me, don't half step. So I don't want to have my plate so crowded that I can't become a certified master herbalist. And that's my intent for my goal for 2022. Completing that certification and having the Garden of Gratitude. And of course, helping you all in any way I can. Nikki from OCD-ish Chick, she left a beautiful comment on one of my posts. I think it was a little 15-second short video where I was showing what I found the easiest way to root, I think, brown turkey fig. And she said a lot of people wouldn't share that. And I know that's to be true. Because some people share things, but they don't tell you everything. But I do. For one, I know I'm not going to live forever. Two, I know I'm not going to be able to do this forever. 3, 3, it is my purpose, it's my mission to help as many people as I can. And that's what I love about growing, it's Juicing with Jay, who sent me the pomegranate cuttings. And I think I sent him some, I know I did. I sent him some elderberry cuttings. And he left a comment and he said that he was just, I don't remember his exact words, floored or whatever, I'm paraphrasing, when he saw my cuttings that I'm rooting in water. Now, based upon all of the rooting cuttings that I did, I wasn't sure if I should put this in soil or put it in water. And it wasn't that long that I had this. And I'm seeing the roots coming up and they started leafing out before the roots came out. But I do know enough about tree roots and cuttings that the nutrition can be inside of this branch that will allow you to do that. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to survive. So don't get too happy when you see leaves. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I said it. Don't get overexcited and then stick it into some soil too quick because they may not root. I'm not sure. I always tell you guys, when it's an experiment, it's an experiment. I think I referred to that recently when I was talking about the pups and corms that I was digging up in my prayer garden to bring into the greenhouse for the winter. I knew that it would work because I had purchased corms and dug them up before. I even took them out of a pot, a 25-gallon pot, my son, my youngest son and I, the barbershop owner. And he lifted it up and I cut the roots down and put that plant back into the same pot. So I kind of like know what I'm doing when I've done it before, but I've never rooted a pomegranate tree. I never rooted elderberry cuttings. They were already rooted when I got them. Here are elderberries, and I want to show you what they look like. They can start shooting out little green leaves in the water, but from that green, put it back of my hand because you can see it, you'll see roots coming down from there. And so I had rooted a lot of them and sent them out to you, and then I said, I'm going to get smart. I'm going to go out there before it gets 19, which I thought was going to be 20 degrees. This morning, it ended up being 19. I'm going to go out there and get some more cuttings and I'm going to root them. So I started doing that. So I have some more trees that will be available to sell. And I knew about the brown turkey fig tree cuttings because I purchased pencil-sized cuttings from eBay, and the seller recommended that I root them in either sand, perlite, peat moss, or potting mix. And I tried all of them, and the potting mix cuttings rooted the fastest. But I never experimented yet with this in potting mix. The next time I get a cutting from my own tree, I'm going to try it in potting mix and in water and see which one goes faster. Okay, I'm going to stop and let's see if... I love Lavender for Luck. She said, hey, Garden of Gratitude fam. That's it. That's what I want. Little Blessings, Urban Love. Miss Debbie said, Lady Cheryl, to honor you and your inspiration, encouragement to me, I will plant a gratitude garden here on my urban farm. Amen. Thank you. Mabel Speak says, do you have to score the cuttings? Mabel, I did on one cutting, and the rest of them I didn't, and they rooted in the fig tree. They all rooted the same. So the answer would be no. You don't have to score them. And I did not score them with the elderberry or the pomegranate. That's a very good question, Mabel. So I would suggest to you, if you have some and you want to try it, as long as you don't mind losing some of the cuttings, I would recommend that you try both ways. But I didn't score them and I didn't have any problems. Happy New Year, Lolita. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. Oh, Yankee sister says, girl, I told you we got a lot in common. She's trying the Paul Robeson tomato this year for the first time. And Cherie is saying the Paul Robeson is delicious, one of my faves. And Cherie, you gave me some more seeds. And you gave me the peach, orange peach. And I think I've got a manna orange. And I found another white seed that I had in the freezer. I'm going to start them tomorrow. But it's another seed you gave me too at home with Cherie. I'm going to try it. But you guys know that I'm downsizing. So where I had 2 garden beds, 4x8 for tomatoes, I only have 1. And it says 8 feet, but those corner pieces shorten the bed a little bit. So it's really 7.5 feet by 2 3/4. So I can't grow a whole lot of tomato plants. And that's because I'm blessed that my fruit trees are really going into production. And I can't wear myself out and can all that fruit and do everything that you have to do to your fruit trees. When I say do everything that you do to your fruit trees, you need to feed them. You need to get them some compost. I use the fermented comfrey tea. This year I'm planting comfrey around all my fruit trees and garlic, trying to keep some of the squirrels and stuff away. One more thing I'm gonna do. Oh! I am not going to miss this year like I did last year and do not put an organic dormant spray, because you'll get those worms in your peaches and all that kind of stuff. And I caught mine just in time where some of those worms had gotten into my Sun Glow nectarine, which is a stone fruit. And so I started doing some research, and I dropped the ball. I should have sprayed them with an organic oil. And I will do that, whether it's neem oil, if I find something else more comparable to that. As long as it has that ORI, which means it's good for organic gardening. Okay? And I set up a new area just to test my saved seeds, and she's very excited about it, says Cherie. Awesome, Eric Taylor, I think she's talking about the gratitude. Thank you, Growing with Hudson, for asking everybody to hit that like button. And even after this live is over, if you go and you post a comment about the live, this is what I heard other content creators saying, that it pushes the algorithm. And let me just say this is not a complaint against YouTube. I know I lost, the count is up to 76 subscribers within the last few weeks, and I was told that sometimes the inactive people will be purged. And I'm happy about it, because I'd rather have, let me put it this way. When I was teaching beauty school, I would rather have 5 students in the classroom that were very attentive and wanted to become certified and wanted to learn than to have 100 in the classroom just lollygagging around. So I don't have a problem with that. But if you are a new content creator and you see a fluctuation in your subscriber list, it's just people that are not active. Okay? All right. Because I kept getting to 9,600. I said, I'm going to be getting to that 10,000. And then it just kept dropping and dropping, go up, drop. But I didn't freak out because I've seen it before. Okay? So if that's happening to you, don't even worry about it. You'd rather have some good people with you than a lot of people lurking around in the bleachers and in the balcony and in the attic. Okay? And if you are new to my channel and you're watching the replay, or if you happen to be watching right now and you want to put a comment, I've got it set up or program where you have to be a subscriber in order to comment, to keep trolls from disrupting positivity into our chats. So you have to be a subscriber to make a comment. So that might want to encourage you to become a subscriber. Did you all enjoy Brian and Bria's little New Year's welcome or Happy New Year, whatever you want to call it? It was so cute. I had dinner at their house, just like I did on Christmas. It was just us, their parents, and me. You know, we wanted to keep the circle small, and after we had our dinner, they wanted to show me, you know, their hats, and that it's such a beautiful family and beautiful, well-rounded kids. Brian is going to resume karate lessons, I think Tuesday, and Bria is going to resume her gymnastic lessons. I think they said Thursday or Friday, and trust me, their parents are going to be very careful with them with their mask on. And you know, my daughter's an educator, assistant principal, and she said things are getting bad, but she hopes they don't shut the schools down in our area in Texas for this reason. She said the year and a half that those students had virtual learning, they are out of control. Some of you may be experiencing this too. The students are out of control as far as discipline, and they are educationally, they are behind. But I keep up with current events, and a lot of school systems are shutting down, and it may be unavoidable. But all I can say is pray and do the best that you can. I always tell you all, don't panic, prep, and be prepared. Baby, Lord have mercy. If you all haven't seen At Home with Cherie Butcher Box video, y'all better go check it out. It's just a little bit too much for me. I know because I'm just one person and I don't eat a lot of meat. But I shared it with my sister and my daughter to check that out because she lives in real frigid, freezing conditions. And it's a way of life. And that's what made me think of her when I said, don't panic, prep. It's a way of life to store food and be prepared so that you don't have to get out should there be an emergency. But some people in this chat, they live in climates where they don't want to run to the grocery store every few days, you know. I grew up in Indiana, and that's not as cold as it is in Minnesota where Miss Cherie lived. However, I did grow up in an environment where we prepped, and my mom, you know, had food stored in case there was a blizzard or emergency. So it's a way of life to me. And that butcher block, man, I keep saying block. That box that she had was just incredible. And you can have that at your disposal. Another thing that I noticed that I missed when she was displaying her grow room and her pantry areas or whatever, I miss having that basement. Because I grew up when we had basements. In Texas, you don't find too many basements because the water pipes and stuff are up under the house in the older houses. And if you have a more newer house, like my house is not that new, but it's only 30 years old. The pipes and stuff are not buried that deep in the ground because we don't get that cold here. But we had some issues when on February 3rd of last year, when we had that polar freeze. People had broken pipes and things like that. I was very fortunate. But this is the deal. And when you have below zero, your pipes are way down in the ground in the basement. So you can have so much area where you can have, like my sister has a bar downstairs. Who's the lady? Gardening and Cocktails with Joy has the basement, have the bar, and she did the wonderful drinks for the Christmas, the 12 days of Christmas. You don't have to go out and party in clubs and things like that when we were in our 20s and 30s, because my family had them in the house. Not my mom, but my aunts and stuff like that, you know. And basements are really nice to have, and it gives you more square footage in your property where you can store things and have things separate from your living areas. And that's the issue that I'm having right now is having my manufacturing in my dining room. This is my part of my dining room that you're looking at me right now. So who knows? Maybe I'll be blessed to have storage place, a warehouse or something later. We don't know what the future holds. So at this time, Oh, Cherie said they are missing so much work. I wrote curriculums for science summer programs. I had to modify my lessons last year as they tested 2 to 3 years behind. This year I have already modified. Yes, your fingers will freeze off trying to load bags. Oh yes, I know. I know it's very cold. And I was going to tell you that's what my daughter is saying, that the state test scores won't even count. I think last year and this year, because the children are way behind. And there is also a frustration among the teaching staff because of all of the misconduct and how far behind the students are. In fact, DISD, Dallas Independent School District, is offering a bonus for the teachers that they retain, not the new ones, but the ones that have been there for a while and they retain them, because a lot of them are leaving the profession because it's so stressful. So, yeah, we have to pray for our children. And Miss Quinny's playroom said, yes, and they're not focused. Lavender Lux said they're shutting things down here too. I think I told you last week, my sister said in Indiana, and I heard a lot of colleges are not starting back up. They're going back to virtual school. Now, Robin Smith said, so how too far do you plant the cutting? So how far do you plant the cuttings with the leaf and the roots that have appeared above or below? Forget that every time. Okay, that's a really good question. Let's take one out and see. This one, I would plant right where my fingers are. But had this sprouted where these leaves are, wait, you see that root right there? I would plant this all the way down in the soil to, I don't have a cup. Yeah, here's one. I would plant that to about right here. You feel me? Now, let me see if I can find one without messing with the leaves. You have to be careful because the leaves and the roots are very fragile. Now, let's look at this one. You see the white coming out from here? I would plant this one to here. I would cover that leaf up because you got roots coming out from it. You see it? Can anybody see that? Mabel, I'm going to answer your question in a minute. Mabel speaks. You see those roots right there, guys? I would plant this all the way up to here and let it just keep shooting out. I hope I answered your question. Okay, so let me get back to Mabel speak, because she mentioned anything about what advice did you give for the temperature drop. Very good question, Mabel. I started talking about that actually about the last month or so, when I started preparing my pups, bananas and corbs. I think they call some varieties of banana plants, and they're not trees. I've said this before. They're an herb that produce a fruit, and they're soft. It's not hardwood. And by the way, while I'm saying this is elderberry. That rule is not true for anything that has hard root is a tree. Elderberries grow like trees, but they're considered a bush, but they have hardwood. Now, I started in October getting everything ready for the cold. I started using the utility carts. Remember, guys? We drill holes at the bottom. My son-in-law helped me put compost and potty mix in there, and I started planting my citrus trees. And then I put the sour sops, because they can't take 40. They go in the shock and they would die, so I brought them inside in gorilla carts, the little small ones. Then, way before October, back in July, I started having classes. Well, not classes, but I would lecture in my Monday night chats. What is the coldest temperature some crops can take? And I shared with you that collards can take below 0. Carrots, you do not have to harvest your carrots. Just leave them in the ground. It can get to be 10 degrees and they still will survive. It's called cold storage. They will continue to grow. The tops of the carrots, the leafy part, may not be edible to eat. But you can go out in Minnesota weather, below zero, and as long as you have a marker and you know where you you planted the carrots, because I've seen videos of people pushing the snow out the way and digging up the carrots. So that's what you have to do prior to, Mabel. Prior to the weather changing, you have to think about what crops you're going to grow in the winter and how much of a temperature that they can take. For example, none of my containers outside of the greenhouse have any type of covering on them. All of them can take a 20, a 19, 18, 17 degree temperature. But just in case there was a polar freeze that came out of nowhere, the video that I would drop tomorrow or the next day will show you how I went around and I was getting ready to water my plants, but the Lord blessed us with rain that night before and that morning, and I harvested some of the tender greens. In fact, they're cooking right now. And I'm going to share with you how I cook them and blah, blah, blah. A little quick video. So anything that is growing outside, like my kale, my cabbage, my Swiss chard, mustards, whatever's growing out there, I harvested the tender greens. I left the center for you to cut and grow back again. And I didn't touch the collards or the cabbage because they can handle it. Okay? Number two. That was number two. Number one is I started bringing in plants into the greenhouse. Number two, I harvested and made sure everything was watered very well. Number three, I made sure that I had a source of compost, which produces heat in the greenhouse, as well as a source of water. Because when the temperature gets down to 19, you're supposed to take a loose your watering, hose, and leave just a little bitty drip in your water line so your pipes don't freeze. I didn't leave a little drip, but I did empty my water hose. And I have water in the greenhouse. The last thing that I did was I brought in some pansies that were still productive. My son-in-law helped me with that. And I also pulled up all of the plants except the society garlic. And I put to sleep the bed with a galvanized frame on it that I'm going to be planting my tomato plants. In the last couple of videos, you saw me and my little grand angels putting compost and leaves and ground up leaves. We showed you how to use our wood chipper. We showed you how we use our mulcher, and we got that bed to rest. So that bed shouldn't have any weeds or anything growing in it because it is thoroughly covered. So come March, I can just move back the leaves and just plant. Okay? And we added worm castings in there too. And by the way, I told you guys that I don't consider worm castings a fertilizer, but it is in a way. But it's not like a commercial fertilizer. So I don't put anything on my plants. The only thing that I buy now is if I run out of compost, 1, black cow, 2, worm castings, 3, garden lime, because that helps the plants soak up calcium and prevent your pepper plants and your tomato plants from getting blossom end rot. But I do add eggshells to my compost. But sometimes because I can't hardly digest eggs, I can only eat egg whites, it takes me a long time to get enough. So I go ahead on and buy a garden lime. Okay? So that's my advice. Don't put anything on your trees that is plastic, because if you put on, say you got a lemon tree outside and you cover it up with plastic, the cold temperature will make the plastic stick to the leaf and it'll burn it. It'll be like frostbitten. So if you're going to cover up any trees that can't handle a low temperature, you need to put burlap, sheet, frost cloth, something like that before you put plastic on it. But all of my trees that are outside and they're not in the greenhouse, all of them survive a 3-degree temperature. So when you're selecting your fruit trees, you have to know if it's compatible for your growing zone. And you can't just trust the information that you see at the big box stores. However, they have gotten better since the pandemic, and more people are buying fruit trees. They are doing a better job. But before the pandemic, I bought some fruit trees that I should have never purchased because, one, they couldn't handle the heat, or they couldn't handle the cold temperature. It was the wrong growing zone, or it did not get the right amount of chill hours. I've said this a lot of times. Stark Brothers and Ison Nurseries online have good information about your growing zone and what's compatible for you to grow. Another wonderful source I used to name all the time is the Farmer's Almanac. It used to come in a little book. My grandparents used to read the book and go by the zone and the moon sign and all that. But now they have an online service when you could put in your zip code and it will tell you when to plant your corn, when to plant your watermelon seeds. All of that is available online. And if all else fails, you can Google it. There was no Googling when I started gardening. But you all have a lot of source of information that can help you become better gardeners. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Let me see if I missed anything else. Yes, Cherie, I'm anxiously waiting to see if my new trees I planted this summer will survive. It's nerve-wracking. And it's so true because everything that I have growing in my food forest that is not in the greenhouse, everything came back from a 3-degree temperature. So I'm not even worried about those. And I didn't take a chance because somebody emailed me and wanted to know why did I have my noble muscadine vines that I got from Ison's nursery in the greenhouse. One, I just got them, right? Because you remember I told you guys that I got black rot spot from the Concord grapes. 3 years me trying to grow them and get the fungus, they out. So to replace them, I bought the same type of muscadines that I was growing already that was located on that fence line that intertwined with the Concord grapes and didn't get the black rot. So that means that those leaves were touching those leaves, and if you do any research, you'll find out about the black rot. It gets into the trees, the leaves, the blah, 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 blah. It didn't mess with the muscadines. So I went out there and I just cut them off about 2 or 3 inches high. So I can move the debris out there keeps decaying and bag it up, and I can get my landscaper to dig up those roots. But I'm not going to put the muscadine vines there. I'm going to put them a little further away. But anyway, I did not leave them outside because they were new. And then with my credit from Stark Brothers, remember when they sent me the little Charlie Brown tree and I got some blackberries from them and I told you guys they were dead on arrival and blah, 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 blah. And they gave me the credit. I bought 2 cherry trees. The cherry trees are compatible and for my chill hours of my zone, but because they were bare root and they were new, I was not going to chance putting them in the ground and them dying. So I have them in containers in the greenhouse. But anything else that's out there in the greenhouse already survived a polar freeze. So every time you garden, you will learn. For example, Cherie mentioned she's anxiously waiting to see if her new tree she planted this summer will survive the winter. It's nerve-wracking. It's true. Next year, after these trees survive for Cherie during the winter, she's not going to be nervous about them again. That isn't to say that one of them can't go into shock and die, because you could do everything right. And the weather and elements can be very favorable for your trees, but a tree at any time can decide to go into shock and just die. But Cherie won't be nervous because if they pull through this winter, chances are the percentage is high that they'll pull through again. So I'm not worried about anything outside. I opened up the door and I said, oh, no, I ain't going out there. 19 degrees. I saw frost all on my little tables. You all know I got everything elevated up. It'll be okay. I went out there I didn't go out. I peeped out there again about 1 o'clock. Okay, some of the sun is melting some of the frost off, but I'm not worried about them. I'm cooking greens right now. They're on real low. I got to turn them off when this live is over. Okay? So, yes, you get 1 year guarantee. That's what Cherie's talking about. Yes, the same thing with Ison Brothers and Ison's Nursery and Stark Brothers. And all your big box stores are doing that 1 year guarantee too. But you can have a tree for 3 years and then go into shock. There's no guarantee on that. Okay. All right. I saw somebody come in. Lioncrest, Professor Q. Thank you for being here. Hey, Renee. I didn't see you earlier. I think I spoke to Bon Brownlee at Antia's backyard. And you know what I keep getting mixed up? My Granny's garden is Viola Graham. And that reminds me, let me just share this with you. Let me find it. Professor Q, can you please email me a mailing address so I can send you the white hibiscus seeds? I asked you, Debbie, Ebbs, and Cherie to try to grow them so that I can see how viable they are, and I'm going to try, and I will put these in the mail. Tuesday is my day for orders. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. And seeds and things like that will go out on Wednesday. Or did I say Thursday? I made a schedule with my daughter. I got to go look it up. So I won't get so overwhelmed. Because I made a big mistake. I tried to get all of you all to get your comfrey and stuff before Christmas. And I was sending out comfrey. I was sending out seeds. I was sending out the gift certificate. It was so overwhelming, guys. It was just too much. But I want to share this with you. Even if your comfrey came and it was all the way down like this, excuse me, you can just cut it off. Put it in a mason jar, make you some fertilizer. Put it in a window or whatever for 2 weeks and then put it on your plants. As long as the roots are alive, they will produce more leaves. You can see right here. Here's 2 little leaves coming up right here. See these 2? If I was to cut these off today. But nobody complained. There was only one person that said hers was looking a little limp. And then I think she let me know a couple of days later that it was fine. I wasn't concerned about the comfrey because I know comfrey was very invasive. But I will say this. By me, the first time he's sending comfrey, I was a little leery of sending it unrooted. And I just wanted to make sure everything was fine. Next year, I will not root comfrey. Next year, I will just send you the cuttings and let you do it. Because you can't really mess up with comfrey. And every time I gave out these elderberry cuttings, I gave out instructions of how to take care of them. I went on live on Monday night and I told you all how to take care of them. So I'm not really worried about the elderberries. But I do have elderberry cuttings for sale. They will go out in February. And I still have red Texas Star hibiscus seeds. So if you want some, all you got to do is cash app me. And I have Miss Ellen, Viola Graham, Jean Dudley, Deb Moore, and Joyce Moore. I still have to send you guys comfrey. I have to check my list to make sure that I didn't send you the comfrey already. But I know I made them last. I think I emailed you all and told you I would be doing it after Christmas because I got kind of overwhelmed. It was something else. But I'm putting my Cash App on right now. I'm also putting my email address. If somebody want to email me, if you're interested in getting some elderberry cuttings, and I'll announce it again tomorrow night. if you're interested. I'm putting that there. Did I do it? Barb Brownlee said in 586, the temperature was 22 degrees with the wind chill of 12 this morning and 1 inch of snow. I have 3 new young fruit trees as well, praying they will survive. They probably will. If you got trees for zone 5A, yeah, they'll be fine. I wouldn't even be worried about it. But, you know, prayer is always needed and recommended. And Cherie said they had a negative 25. And she's telling you they're going to be fine too. Yeah, I really believe that. And if anybody want to join my perks clubs, I'm going to put that URL up. You can click on that. Also, if you on a PC, you can click on the $ and click on membership. And I'll talk more about that on Monday night. But again, if you're watching the replay, because I'm going to be going to school on Sunday afternoon for the Master's Herbalist certification, I will not be having this live chat on Sunday afternoon anymore. I'm going to combine Blessings with the Garden with my Monday night weekly chat that I've been doing for about 18 months. Okay? So Sunday afternoon, I still be having my classes from the perk clubs, how to pressure can, dehydrate, all that kind of stuff, and how to make lotions, oils, creams, butters, all of that. I will still be doing that, because when I get out of that class at 2 o'clock, I'll get a chance to get a little lunch, and then be ready for my other class at 3 o'clock that I have to attend. And I got about, I think I got 3, I bought one myself, and I got 3 books that was on my Amazon wish list. About herbs that will help me, medicinal herbs that will help me with my class. And I want to thank you all for that. So the only thing that I need right now is for Professor Q to email me so I can send you those seeds. Viola Grams, his name is My Granny's Garden. I'm not sure if I sent you comfrey or not. You can let me know, because I have a tracking number, but I don't know if I sent you that. 4 people. Debbie Epps, Karen Witherspoon, Sadia Jackson, which is Alternate Homesteader, and Latrice Sunshine Witherspoon. I will get your stevia seeds out. And the reason why I started doing the Cash App, so you can win money to get the stevia seeds, is because of this. Here are the stevia seeds from Baker Creek. And let me just show you how many. You only get 15 seeds. It was you can't hardly even see them. It was my intent to give out, about 4 seeds to people in the Purse Club. So I just gave a lot of $5 cash apps for those that won, so that you can purchase your own seeds. And we're going to be growing this together. And because I only got 2 packages, so I only got 15 for myself. And then here are the Texas Star Hibiscus, the white ones that I asked the 4 people to send me an address. I think all I need was Professor Q/Farmer Q. What else? I think that's it. If I didn't mention you as being the few people that I got to send comfrey to, the Golden Girls, and you didn't get anything that you were supposed to be getting from me, please email me, guys, before, let's say, before next Monday, because I think I took care of everybody. Everybody got what they're supposed to get. I checked the tracking numbers. Okay? All right. Thank you, At Home with Cherie. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to sharing everything with you all. You all know if I learn it, I'm going to share it with you all too. Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to see you guys back here tomorrow night. I'll drop a video either in the morning or either Tuesday. No. Yeah, either tomorrow morning or Tuesday about how I harvested my greens and cooked them. I thank everybody that sent me a wonderful gift. Um, it was like overwhelming, overwhelming. I'm just all the love and support. I just want to thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Robin Smith, just out of curiosity, how long will it take before the elderberries produce berries? That's a very good question. I got mine in 2 years. I got them in the fall, planted them in the ground. The next year, I got a couple of clusters of berries, but they fell off during the rainy, windy period. And the second year, they were loaded. And I really think all of the elderberry tonic and all the stuff that, I made out of the syrup, I think that really helped me with my immune system because I didn't go to the doctor for it the first year of the pandemic. Just telephone visits. That was it. I was too afraid to go anywhere. And I hadn't been sick. The only thing that I have had was allergies, exhaustion. And that's it. Allergies and exhaustion. In 2 years, that's pretty good. But I've had everything. I have all my checkups with the kidney specialist, kidney sonogram, mammogram, colonoscopy, you name it, physical. I've had everything. And I've been doing pretty good, just overworking myself. And even though I know I got a lot on my plate, I've been like this for a long time. I always try to do as much as I can. I think it has something to do with me having cancer. And 2022 will be 30 years that I survived breast cancer. And I think if you ever get close to death, I'm not saying you got to get close to death to know how valuable life is, but it's something about surviving a life-threatening illness that makes you do all that you can while you can. Because I know that there's a reason for me still being alive. I told you the type of cancer that I had was very aggressive. If it had went undetected a few more months, it would have metastasized and went all over my body. It's very aggressive, is what the specialist told me. And the surgeon told me I was lucky, that I caught it myself. Told I wasn't lucky. I had a friend. A friend? They called him Jesus. She was one of those doctors that had a God complex, that she saved me. No. I better stop right here before we start having church. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You didn't save me, lady. I had a friend that looked out and put that thought process in my head to check my breast. And I found the lump. And I made an appointment. And I told my husband it was cancer. He said, oh, don't talk like that. You always assume the worst. I just got a feeling it's cancer. And it was. And my daughter was 15. And when I came through to recovery, the doctor was standing over me and they were there and they told me that it was cancer, but they're sending it out to the pathology lab in California for verification. Because see, back in the day, they used to just do mastectomies and people didn't even have cancer. And taking the wrong one off and all that. And so we had a while to think, and we opted to go through a new treatment, which was just the lump removed when I had the biopsy, radiation, and chemotherapy. And I was one of the first people in this Dallas area. And I still get letters today, want to know my status and blah, 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 blah. Because they used to do a radical mastectomy. But now they don't do that, ladies. Unless it has invaded and metastasized. They just take the lump out. Okay? I don't know. I didn't mean to get all into that. But yes. Barb Broccoli said, have a blessed, healthy, and safe New Year, everyone. Yes, husband. God is good all the time. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow night. I got some interesting things lined up I want to share with you. God is good all the time. He loves us, and I love you too. Take care, everybody. If you got a question for tomorrow night, just email me, and I'll do my best to answer it, okay? All right. Bye now. Take care.